The Jayden Daniels game on Monday night. So there was 2 Monday night games. For people on the East Coast, it may have been a little late. Not sure if you saw all of it. I think people in Washington, D.C. certainly did. But it was interesting. It was on the road. That's always tougher. It was Joe Burrow in a make-or-break for the season game for Cincinnati. It was national TV. By the end of the game, it was a standalone game as an underdog. And the kid goes 21-23, 142 passer rating, 3 total touchdowns. He honestly looked brilliant. Back-to-back games, Washington's offense, no punts and no turnovers. Anybody else watch that game and kind of think to themselves, do we got a C.J. Stroud thing going on where the number 2 quarterback pick is way better than the number 1 pick? Now, Caleb Williams is a much bigger, stronger athlete than Bryce Young. He looks the part, and he's gotten gradually better. But if you start looking at the numbers, most of the time with these young quarterback stars, we knew Burrow, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert first game. Even when Mahomes wasn't playing, you were getting reports and video was leaking on how good Mahomes was as he was sitting backing up. Lamar Jackson, you were hearing reports about, and that's what we had with Jayden Daniels. With Jayden Daniels, you were getting reports very early on. Dan Quinn is like, and usually coaches slow play a young quarterback. Well, it's a process. You didn't get that with Jayden Daniels. Dan Quinn was like, it's kind of blowing us away. Cliff Kingsbury's like, multiple times Kingsbury went to a podium. This is the opposite of what you do with rookie quarterbacks. It was like, yeah, I can't. And this guy does everything right. His accuracy's insane. That's what they did with like Andrew Luck. When Kobe Fleener, a tight end for the Colts, went on record like 2 weeks into camp and said he memorized the playbook in 2 days. I went to Stanford. It took me a month. Like that's what people said about Elway. That's what people said. I mean, we're still waiting for that stuff from Trevor Lawrence. In camp, Washington couldn't control themselves. And Kingsbury's been around long enough to know, don't hype a young quarterback. And Kingsbury couldn't help himself. And Dan Quinn couldn't help himself. These are not like rookie coaches that are over their skis or Deion Sanders trying to change the culture in college. And if you look at Caleb and Jayden Daniels, there are 2 things that are not disputable. Caleb is very inaccurate. Jayden is crazy accurate. It's not like close. And Caleb is very turnover prone. And Jayden never turns the ball over. Like, those are big things. So it's one of those, I mean, C.J. Stroud by his 6th game and Bryce Young by his 3rd, we're like, yeah, I've seen enough to know that guy at 2 is just going to be better than the 1 guy. Now, the 1 guy may get better. He may get a better coach. But the 2 guys, great now. You're watching Jayden Daniels Monday night. It's like, yeah, that's all I need to see. They're only going to get better on the offensive line. They're only going to get better. Like, this is the start of it, and Washington can't control themselves. Their announcers can't control themselves. Dan Quinn. So I don't know. I don't know what it means for Caleb Williams, but I'm finding myself with Caleb, and he's better than Bryce Young. I'm not saying it's that, but I am finding myself 1 year later saying the same stuff. Well, he's got to get the right coach. He's got to get a better offensive line. So I said about Bryce Young. And I think Caleb's much better than Bryce Young. Yeah, but it's really hard when you do what we do to watch Jayden and watch Caleb. And, like, it's not subtle or nuanced. It's, like, really accurate, not accurate. No turnovers, lots of turnovers. Great judgment, not great judgment. Like, it's getting like last year. It's getting really wide really quickly.